The Wigan trophy collection is getting bigger all the time. After travelling down under to grab the World Sevens trophy, they find the road from here to Wembley begins at home. Charity does not. Opponents Warrington arrive bringing no presents, expecting no favours. They like nothing better than putting one over Wigan. With a quarter-final place at stake, this is the match no one dares lose. They've been fighting cup battles for 88 years. 8 wins for Wigan, 7 for Warrington. No one understands the rivalry better than Billy McGinty, signed by Wigan from Warrington, but he feels no split loyalty.
I play for Wigan and I want to win all the time and I want success, and whatever comes my way we'll have to beat them, and that's it.
The two W's met on the greatest stage of all 2 years ago. Warrington were torn apart then, partly by 6 times Wembley winner Andy Gregory, today facing his old club.
They don't like Wigan winning anything, and the vice versa, you know, Wigan don't like Warrington winning anything, so it's going to be a tough game today. We're expecting a really hard cup tie, and hopefully, you know, we can come out on top.
No team comes to Central Park complacently, but Warrington have a startling record, 6 wins and a draw in 9 visits. And they have a steely pride personified for a decade by Paul Cullen. He knows from experience what beating Wigan means.
We love to come here because we're playing against the best, and that's basically what you want as a professional sportsman. This is the day that I've trained for 10 years for. I want to come to Central Park, the second round of the Challenge Cup, and do what is totally unexpected by the vast majority of the rugby league public, to beat what is the best side in the world of rugby league. Difficult job, we're going to do it.
And they're just as determined on the terraces, whatever colours they're wearing.
Warrington and Wigan games are always evenly contested, both physically and mentally. As a matter of fact, they are very good games. And I look forward to, hopefully, being in Wigan colours, Wigan winning line.
This is the match that you've got to come to. If you don't come to any other match, you've got to come to this one. It's just the top match.
To beat Warrington is great, yeah. The other team is great, really. But Wigan and Warrington in the cup tie, yeah. First class, yeah.
Well, they've been to Wembley so many times now, someone's got to beat them. I hope it's us.
Well, here are the men he's pinning his hopes on. Kelly Shelford returns at standoff after a hamstring strain. So Cullen reverts to loose forward after playing at number 6 in last week's win over Hulkingston Rovers. And Neil Harmon is recalled to the front row alongside Dwayne Mann and Phil Sumner. Now the Wigan lineup. Shaun Edwards plays despite breaking his nose during the World Sevens for the 2nd time in 3 weeks. Dean Bell, the captain, moves to loose forward because Phil Clark has calf trouble. And Andy Platt returns as sub after missing 2 months with an ankle injury. We'll have news of Great Britain and France later, and a chance to win a VIP trip to the return test in our jigsaw. Plus action from Bradford, where St Helens try to go top of the league while Wigan are occupied by the cup here at Central Park. Watched by David Watkins and John Helm.
It's a big match and it's a big crowd. An awesome task facing Warrington coming here to Central Park in a cup tie. But David, I suspect if any side is equal to it, it could be Warrington.
It certainly could. Their record is good here at Central Park. The 2 Australian coaches, of course, in charge of the respective sides, and they will have planned this game meticulously.
The pitch looking a little bit threadbare. There's not a lot of grass on it. First penalty of the match has been awarded against Warrington's Gary Mercer. Referee today is Brian Galtris from Bradford. It's the first time he's officiated a Wigan-Warrington match. Steve Hampson taking play up to the halfway line. Gene Miles, who thoroughly enjoyed himself last week over in Australia, playing against his old club Brisbane Broncos in that Sevens tournament in which Wigan was so successful. Now Shaun Edwards along the line. In comes Kelvin Skerritt wearing number 10. 2 huge prop forwards, of course, Ian Lucas and Kelvin Skerritt. And Warrington preferring Neil Harmon in the number 8 jersey today. A player's got his hands on the ball for the first time in the match, and across field he comes. Now he'll try and straighten up and over he goes. And that's the way to dump Martin a fire. That'll certainly let him know.
Well, there won't be any love lost for these 2 sides, and of course defence is the main attribute in rugby league, because you can always build on a good defence, and both sides have certainly got good defences.
They have. You can't anticipate a high-scoring affair, especially in a cup tie, where everybody is determined to take one step along the road to Wembley. Shelford, who's been in doubt due to a hamstring strain, but he's okay. And now it's Chris Rudd in the right centre berth. Both sides keen to whip the ball through the hands in the early stages. Everybody wants to get a feel of the ball.
Well, that's important, and the more you move it about, the less passes you drop, the more confidence builds up in players, and both sides will be looking for that. It is confidence in the early minutes. The tackles will be hard and tough, and you really have to make as few mistakes as possible.
And that tackle was too tough. Warrington moving the ball along the line, and the Wigan man, Kelvin Skerritt, followed through with his tackle. And you can't do that. And so Mr. Skerritt gets a ticking off from referee Galtrus, and Warrington get a penalty. Restored to full health. The ball is put into touch, but safely. Distance was not really of the essence. Warrington have 6 tackles from this position once the referee has cleared his of the other ball. So now Warrington will look to move it through Martin Crompton, a very good player who was on the transfer list at one stage to £130,000. He's in the number 7 shirt today because of the injury to Kevin Ellis, who I'm told will be out for another couple of weeks with his break to his foot. That's Gary Mercer. He's put a lot of weight on, it strikes me, as Gary Mercer. He used to play in the centre, but he's now very much a second rower at Wilderspoon.
Yes, he is. He's very strong. He's a very resilient player, and it's early to see what is happening now in the sides. Warrington, in particular, are trying to move the ball both to the left and the right in order that they might break up this very tough and formidable Wigan defence.
That was uncharacteristic from the fullback, Steve Hampson. Not often he knocks on in that situation, but he did there, and gives Warrington the chance to get almost to the 25 through Shelford. This is Dwayne Mann. Warrington's chance then. From Crompton it comes to Mercer. Now Bob Jackson, the Warrington skipper, tunnelling away up to within 15 yards of that Wigan line. Now Crompton. Oh, and a clever little chip through, and there was hesitation on the part there of Alan Bain, but he stopped running for some strange reason.
Well, yes, I think he was in front of the kicker with the ball, and for him to have proceeded on that or touched the ball himself, they would have put him in an offside position. A wise decision by him, but of course it's allowed Wigan to clear the ball.
That shows just how quickly these players have to think. Now it's Dennis Bates, Skerritt. Well, a phenomenal record that Wigan have had in the Challenge Cup over the last 5 years. Remember, they've won it the last 4 seasons at Wembley. Martin Offiah wasn't in the side, of course, on any of those occasions. He is now after his £440,000 transfer from Widnes, and he would dearly love to be at Wembley. Maloney always comes up in his position alongside us on the gantry here to watch play and see the pattern of it, as indeed Brian Johnson is also up in this commentary box. Very bright sunlit afternoon at Central Park, if a little bit nippy. So all the portents are that this will be a very tight game, as we would have expected. Hampson, this time he does collect and goes up the middle well. This is good play from Hampson. Not in the Great Britain side in France, of course. He might well have been the first choice of Malcolm Reilly. Alan Tate got the job. This is good movement up the middle as well. And Lydon looking to squeeze a ball away to Botica. Couldn't do so. Now the Wigan crowd is roaring as Gregory spins away in a tackle from Mercer. The player's been carried halfway inside the Warrington half. Edwards. The first break might be an important one. The kick through will be fielded by Lyon. Has to run it out. And already noticeable, David, about the kicking game of both sides.
Well, it is really. I mean, apart from that one that went straight to Hampson then, which meant he could run back at them, really it's been very good tactical kicking. They put the ball across the ground into open spaces, and that is sound thinking by the players in doing just that.
Neil Harman justifying his selection there with a good burst. Now it's from Crompton and Shelford, and Mercer's much involved in this match, and he's involved in this move twice. Mercer out to Drummond, who can't hold on. It clipped the ends of his fingernails and went into touch.
Well, it wasn't a particularly good pass, that, and had it been a good pass, I'm sure Drummond would have made rather better use of it than just letting it go into touch. A little unfortunate, but it just goes to show really clearly that both sides have one plan, and the plan is to try and break down the defence by moving the ball both ways.
Yes, the movement's been very impressive so far. There's no ploughing it up the middle these days.
Well, the tackling is stronger there at the middle, John, and what they have to do is get away from that and make people run about. When you run about and get tired, you start making mistakes, and that's what both sides will be looking for.
4 good wingmen on show today. Not only have Wigan got a fire, of course, and Botica, and this might well be a fire out to come into the play as Betts made the run. I was going to say Warrington also have Des Drummond, the man with 24 caps, of course, and young Kenyon, who's doing well at the moment. So this is Wigan's opportunity. Gregory spinning out the longer ball this time to McGinty. Can't get the pass away though. Good tackling by Alan Bateman. He's not the biggest of centres, but he's got courage on his side. That was a good tackle as well on Skerritt. Now it is a longer ball. Gregory and Edwards. Edwards spotted that time. Well spotted by Phil Sumner. The ball has gone to ground, but Wigan have got a penalty for it. And the first penalty awarded in a kickable position.
Yes, a little too eager there to get the ball from the play the ball. It was on the 6. It would have been better really if they'd have let it go then, because they looked to have the defence looked to have it all sewn up.
Andy Gregory has got an early bang, and he's taking sniffing salts. Keith Mills, the physiotherapist, came on to treat Andy Gregory. He's not going to miss out, is he?
No, he was tipped over in a tackle, he was. He took a heavy fall, and
he's back on as Botica attempts to give Wigan the first points of the day. It's a very straight kick for Frano Botica, and he's achieved it without any trouble whatsoever, and Wigan lead by 2 points to 0. Andy Gregory is staying on, despite that little bang on the head. But he'll be okay. Shelford. Oh, that was a dangerous pass to try and give out there, and Wigan gratefully fall on the ball. And this has given Wigan an opportunity to run in with McGinty. It seems strange to him playing against his old mates.
Yes, you can't afford to give any ball away when you still have play the balls left. Not in this type of game.
Skerritt was halted in his tracks. Here comes Ian Lucas, and now Dermot. That was good sleight of hand from loose forward Dean Bell, who has played in that position before, by the way, against Salford this season. Keeps the move going. Not much progress made by Miles this time. They have a couple of tackles to come yet, and they bring on Ian Lucas, who a year ago was playing for Great Britain in France. Perhaps a drop goal attempt now. Now Gregory still wants to do something with it. He chipped on, and it's picked up now, and Bateman runs it out. Oh, that was high! Very high from Gregory. Very high tackle from Andy Gregory, whose heart will be pounding.
Well, there was no doubt that it was a high tackle. It was a little reactionary because I know the boy isn't that way inclined, but the man was coming inside him and he certainly upended him.
Well, the referee has done exactly what I thought he would do, and that is have a strong word with Andy Gregory, but no further recrimination than that. He stays on the field, and Sanderson has come on for Warrington, and the player who's gone off is Phil Sumner. Dwayne Mann. There's Crompton, this is Mercer. He's done well to create a little bit of space out there, and again it's Drummond versus a fire. The crowd love it every time those two come face to face, head to head, shoulder to shoulder, and eyeball to eyeball. Along the ball out for Shelford. Goes in the middle, Shelford. He's having a good match. And he's certainly coming out well against Sean Edwards so far in the day.
Well, really, I mean, there's some marvellous rugby here now. It's so aggressive and so tight, really. I mean, the tension is quite electric inside this stadium because everybody knows there's two teams who are giving their all.
Crompton found a good touch, but Des Drummond there and Martin Afire are having a few words to say at the moment. It's a good old un against a good young un.
Absolutely.
Wigan should heal the ball from the scrum. Oh, they did, and then as Warrington's man fell on it, the referee said, can we have that again, please? Compton was looking to get in there sharply. Gregory doesn't make the same mistake twice. Botica. Oh, he's done well here, Frano Botica. And he'll look to switch play to the left. He's done well. If it goes out to a fire, he would have been blazing a trail by now.
Well, what a confidence now he's got, Botica. He stepped out of 2 or 3 tackles then and still had the sense to throw the ball up. Inevitably, there was a man there. Unfortunately, there were 2 tackles as well.
Edward hidden straight away. Very, very quickly up indeed. Warrington. That was Gary Sanderson. Up the middle goes McGinty. Almost split loyalties after 9 years with Warrington, and in his first one with Wigan. Gregory's reverse ball is to Andy Platt, who feels the full crunch of rugby league again. Gregory will kick here, and he'll kick high, and he'll put Lyon under some pressure, and Edwards follows through. Lyon puts it down. Bex has a chance to set Wigan up for the first score here, just before half-time, and it is a score. Kelvin Skerritt's the man over. Wigan in front.
They came from down off their own line. One mistake, we always said, might change the course of the game. Perhaps this could be the one. Lyon spills the ball. Betts looked as if he was going the wrong way. But fortunately for Wigan and for him, he moved it out where there was an overlap. And look at that. What a wonderful try.
Well, Kelvin Skerritt gets only his 2nd try of this season, and they've both been scored against the wire. Dennis Betts played his full part in that. I'm sure David Lyon knew that he was leading the charge up as he was trying to collect the ball.
Well, you see, Wigan had been subjected to so much pressure. They ran it out from their own line, came all the way up. The last play of the ball, he put it up in the air. One mistake, and who was there? Red again was Betts.
Not an easy kick for Frano Botica, but a vital kick. Even at this early stage. That's looking very good. No, it landed short actually. It just dropped underneath the crossbar. So the scoreline remains Wigan 6, Warrington 0.
Well, how did it happen? It was the drop pass, the only mistake Lyon has made. Picked up by Betts, but started to go the wrong way. But his strength took him out of 2 tackles. It was the pass outside, and there was no stopping Skerritt.
No stopping him at all, and he's still saluting it. Ian Lucas. That will certainly lift Wigan, and it means that Brian Johnson now has just got to lift the spirit of his side in the dressing room at half-time.
Well, yes, they've gone in territorially. They probably had more of the game. They put a lot of pressure on Wigan, but this is one of the great hallmarks of this Wigan side. They can slap it all up and still come forward and do something positive, although it was a mistake that gave them that opportunity.
No running chance then for a fire on the last tackle. Gregory kicks again, charge down. If he picks this one up or kicks ahead, real trouble, and that was bravery of the highest order by Steve Hampson.
Well, he is a full-back in quality. We've seen him make a couple of uncharacteristic mistakes, but he really is a strong runner and so safe behind this Wigan side.
Because another kick through there, and Warrington might well have been on level terms again. Now it's Dean Bell. No doubt about it, though, it's still a match at 6-0. Flat. McGinty. That's a nice kick from Gregory. Could hardly have been judged better, could it?
Well, that takes the sting out of it. He's put them now up in an attacking position. There's a spring in their step now because they are in front after that try.
That's half-time. With the hooter sounding, referee Goltris says away to the dressing rooms. Good half, although there's only been the 1 try in it. But that's what cup football is all about. Kelvin Skerritt's try, the only one then on the board, and Wigan lead by 6 points to 0. There's a lot of good stuff to come.
Mike, these matches are never a picnic, and this one's no exception.
No, it's a tough game out there. We're unfortunate, we've had a few chances, but we've let the ball go to ground, and Wigan have capitalised on our own mistakes. It was a mistake that led them in for the try with the up and under. All credit to Wigan, you know, they're playing consistent football at the minute.
So what'll the word be in the dressing room at half-time?
Well, I think we've got to keep going in the same vein. When we get in there in their 22, we've got problems with see that void of ideas. So if we can get the ideas going, get Martin Crompton and Kelly Shelford doing a bit more plays, getting the runarounds going, maybe we can start creating a bit more play.
Thanks very much indeed, Mike.
Pleasure.
It looks like being as close and passionate as we predicted. At half-time, Wigan lead 6-0, a try by Kelvin Skerritt, a goal from Frano Botica. Join us for the second half after this break. Welcome back to Central Park, where it's Wigan 6 and it's Warrington 0. 40 minutes to come, and 40 very hard minutes, I imagine. We've heard from the Warrington camp. Let's have a view from the Wigan dressing room now, from Andy Goodway.
Andy, what's been said at half-time in the Wigan dressing room?
Well, the coach has said that we must start doing a lot more work up the middle of the field. We've just been a bit lax in general play, which is just taking it straight up and taking the Warrington forwards on.
Because at the moment it could go either way, couldn't it?
It could do, yeah. I think Wigan have just got the edge, but Warrington are playing well. They're moving up quite well out wide, which is startling us because we're not taking the ball at the middle, you see.
Thanks very much. We'll see what happens in the second half. Warrington are out. Here's John.
It's nice to have an insight into what has been said. David, does that surprise you a little? John Boney asking for more work up the middle.
Well, I think what he's trying to do is to draw in the Warrington coverers, and by doing that, if they go down the middle time and time again, taking the ball, it will bring people in on the outside, and it means that there will be opportunities then for Wigan to exploit themselves. Well,
we all know how Des Drummond feels there, disconsolate at knocking on. Let's have a look at the statistics quickly from the first half. The scrums went Warrington's way 4-3. Neither hooker took one against the head. The penalty count quite low. Wigan just 3, Warrington 5 conceded, and the mistakes Warrington have made only 3 and Wigan only 4. That tells its own tale. Almost exemplary. Dennis Betts is driving up straight away, and Warrington must not concede a try to Wigan in the early minutes.
Well, they certainly can't. I mean, their game plan wasn't to knock on there, I'm sure, but because that's really put Wigan in a very strong position.
Skerritt took the pass from Gregory, but didn't make any yardage. Another 3 tackles to come here. Gregory looking to open them up a different way. A fire knocks on, and that's very disappointing, and nobody will be more bitterly disappointed than him.
No, disappointing for him, but sighs of relief on the Warrington side, because they were, straight from kick-off, put under an awful lot of pressure by Des Drummond, knocking that ball on. Gregory coming across here, long ball across to a fire. He really didn't have his eyes properly on the ball, running away from it.
This is Skerritt. The ball back inside is for Lucas, and now a fire who looks to get up the middle. A fire will get up the middle as well. Here he goes. This is what the crowd have come to see. A streaking run by a fire. He's halted on the 25. So dense, he was lurking there with menaces.
It was incredible, the police in there, and the Warrington defence seemed to come from everywhere to come and catch him.
But the good score still for Wigan. The ball is inside, and it went through the hands then beautifully. And really, it's the fire who's built this platform for them. The longer ball, they're almost queuing up for it on Gregory's left. Billy McGinty. And that's going to be the handover and relief for Warrington. Penalty now given to Wigan as well, and that sent Brian Johnson away from his position up by us on the gantry down to the bench, so he saw something there he didn't like. But interesting that a fire should have made his progress up the middle, which was what John Boney was talking about.
Yes, well, he does take an opportunity, such as his speed, that he can get into positions no other player can get into, and he certainly did on that occasion by opening up Warrington in the middle of the field.
And he's the one man in the game who can sort of take on the whole team from 50 yards out and look as though he's going to score every time.
Well, you can't substitute for pace, and no one has more pace in any of their games than Martin Offiah.
It just wouldn't go dead for David Lyon, and he's just made it outside his own line. Tense moments for Warrington supporters. Oh, this is going to be 2 easy points for Wigan, because a punch was thrown. Referee Galtris was there and says that's a penalty for Wigan. Bob Jackson, on behalf of his team as captain, thinks he can argue it. But that is a gift to Wigan and to Frano Botica.
Well, it is. They've put themselves under a lot of pressure from the kick-off with that first ball being dropped and knocked on by Drummond. And really, from then on in, they've really been having to run things out from their own line. And Wigan are too good a side to not pin you down for that.
He accepts the gift. It's 8-0. So Bob Jackson has to rally the troops now. 10 minutes gone in the second half. Just the 2 points added so far. Here's the one try scorer of the match, Skerritt. Dean Bell. And the Cherry and Whites come forward in numbers now. Gregory just couldn't get his pass in. Fire will have to go back to collect. Which way is he going to go? Pass Rudd for a start, then pass Shelford outside of Drummond. Still keeps going outside. He's opened up a little bit down that side. Hampson got involved too.
Well, there's no doubt about it. When he starts going off on some of those runs, everybody tries to chase him, and if he can get it away, it does create havoc amongst the opposing defences.
Well, he always sense he wants to go the whole way by himself, doesn't he? This is Mercer. He always hates having to give the ball away to anybody else. Drummond. They want to make up for a couple of errors, and he's certainly made up so far. This is good stuff, and now Rudd straightens up. He's got one man, and he's given it away to the Wigan player. He might have done better to go down there. And it's Wigan's ball. Rudd had made a good 40 or 50 yards there. There were 2 men outside, and he desperately wanted to get one of them over, of course.
I'm surprised he got rid of it then, because there was nobody really in a clear position to take the pass, and it would have been better that he held on to it. Take a look at it now. When he goes up the middle here, I mean, it was a good pass by Drummond because he drew the defence in. But now he goes up the field with Drummond well in support of him. But it's in the support of the player that a number of Wigan players now come into the picture. He really didn't have a chance to pass it. It would have been better if he held on.
It would, so as a result it's still 8-0, Wigan in front. Platt on the burst, Edwards taking it at the shoulder, and that required a terrific tackle from Mercer. Now it's Gregory, the reverse ball inside as McGinty storming forward for Wigan on the last tackle now. And it's getting quicker, if anything, is this game, as Gregory again chips into Warrington hands.
One of the features is, John, that whenever the pass is taken off the man, it really knocks the man out of the way in front of you because they've taken it at such force and speed.
Tackle me! Come on, man, get up! That's it! And again!
Neil Cowie is the second Wigan sub today, the big prop forward signing from Rochdale last summer. And he's another dreaming for a first appearance at the Twin Towers. Mercer. He seems to have been involved in the play a lot today. Jackson thought of kicking. That's not what he should be doing. And then he's lost the ball. Bob Jackson is just one of these very hard-working forwards that Warrington have. But this is Wigan's opportunity once more with Kelvin Skerritt.
That's right, an unforced error yet again. Then really they should have decided to either kick that ball well before they put Bob Jackson in the position he was.
So will Wigan pay the penalty for that? McGinty coming onto it at pace. This could be a really critical moment. If Wigan get the next score, you would fancy them being the winners at the final whistle. And Gregory keeps on going, now fire. He's surrounded by Warrington men, but still gets his pass into Dean Bell. Bell too, onto Skerritt. Skerritt plunging up the middle, still Skerritt going. Warrington hanging on by their fingernails at the moment. And this looks good from a Wigan point of view as the ball spins through the hands out to the right wing. Botica, he's hauled down. 2 tackles to go. It comes in field. Edwards will feed it and take it back. Now Gregory, he's got men outside him. Gregory, he's got to get a good ball in, and Fire will catch. Can he go outside? outside. No, he comes inside. Gives it away once more to Gene Miles. He's looking to offload and can't. And on the last tackle, they still try and catch them unawares. Gregory, the kick is collected. And Warrington survive once more.
Well, what can you do? What can you do in defence? You must be wondering where the next Wigan jersey is coming from, because there's a man there all the time to pick up the ball and go forward. And Warrington will be very relieved now that they've got it, although they've really got a lot of ground to make to get out of their 25.
Guess they need some inspiration from somebody. They've defended mightily with great heart, but they need something on attack.
Yes, they have. They've defended, they've come in and taken people out of position. They've supported each other in their defence, but really it has been hard work.
The ball spilled to, of all people, Betts, and that's disappointing from Harmon's point of view, because again it sets up Wigan. They've just resisted with 12 bruising tackles. They've now got another 6 to go through, and here is Lucas. Going to take a heroic effort for Warrington to hold on now. Edwards and Gregory once more in harness, the long ball through. This could split them asunder. They just are unable to get that final ball away that might have got Botica in. Missing out Platt, he gives it for Edwards this time. Now it's Gene Miles, the reverse ball inside Dennis Betts. Man holds him and hauls him down. And once more they've got through 5 tackles. The last one. Gregory's tried this little kick through before. He tries again. It's fielded for Warrington, but this will be a drop out under their own posts.
Well, they are thinking all the time. 5 play the balls. They take the ball, stretch the defence on 2 or 3 occasions where you think it's bound to break. It doesn't break, but it's that little grubber kick now that goes through. Let's just watch it, because this really was a superb kick. It doesn't create a try-scoring chance this time, but Bateman in collecting is caught in his indoor area.
Lucas and Gregory, and he brings on Betts. But again, some resolute Warrington defensive work. They'll try and get it out as far as a fire maybe on that left wing. Skerritt, it was held that time. Dermot, now fire, he's up against Drummond. Drummond will be pleased with that, and on will come the 2 substitutes for Wigan now. Well done by Des Drummond. He wasn't going to let him get past.
It certainly wasn't, because by bumping him to touch as well, he's got the scrum head and ball, which means at least Warrington will have some respite. They'll win this ball hopefully with the head and ball, and they can start again trying to work their way up into the Wigan half.
Joe Lyder will go into the full-back berth, vacated by Hampson. And Neil Cowie is on as well. Wigan hardly seem to put a pass down all afternoon.
Well, they haven't allowed themselves to make unforced errors, and Warrington have done just that. And as we've said time and time again, tries and goals have resulted from it.
Gregory kicks. Lions there. Spun away, but it's a little difficult for him. Now he's gone up the middle, David Lyon, and he's an enterprising player. Brilliant play from the fullback, David Lyon. He's got support in the middle from Drummond. Des Drummond tries to get away, and once more it was Lyden who half brought him down, and Drummond only now falls to the tackle. It's good stuff this from Warrington. They're really having a tilt at the moment. They've got to get closer. Here they do. Brompton, no more than 5 yards out, and it's the Warrington fans' turn to roar their team in. They have to get a score, and this is their opportunity. Man can't get over. Still only 5 yards out. The ball is spun along. Shelford. Oh, it's got the ground just when they desperately needed the score. And fire falls on it, and that might be Warrington's best chance.
Well, it was their best chance, and David Lyon, I know he made the mistake which resulted in the Wigan try, but he's been a superb full-back. And I would think again that here's another player that really has tourist written all over him. This pass was the one that went down. A little unfortunate, but you have to say again, it was the eagerness of the Warrington defence in the form of Martin Afai to come in that made him make the error.
Well, on such moments do matches turn. They're won and lost, and funnily enough, I imagine if a Wigan player had been in that situation, he might well have held on.
That's the name of the game. It really is. It's a hard, tough, unrelenting game. A lot of physical power and effort goes into it. And the side that still thinks when you're tired is normally the side that turns up trumps and wins.
Crompton seemed destined to score there, and it just didn't happen. And now Lydon once more can relieve Wigan with a long kick downfield. Drummond showing all his own spirit in this second half, and off goes Lyon again. Not as far this time. It really has backed up everything we said at the start about Warrington, though, that they are a very, very hard nut to crack, but sometimes they just lack that little bit of inspiration and flair.
That's right, and that's been their downfall at the end of the day. They've created a number of opportunities. They haven't really been good enough to finish them off.
Here they go again, though. Can they finish this one off? No, Crompton pulled down by Dean Bell now. And he did have support. 10 minutes left. And that will be a penalty for Warrington. Dean Bell, the offender, he knocked the ball out of the grasp of Mann. Now Warrington have a decision to make now. Do they run it, or do they try for their first points? And the decision is to go for goal. There will be a change shortly, as you can see. But all eyes for the moment are on David Lyon. An important kick to try and keep Warrington in the cup. 40 yards out, straight as a die. And Lyon disappointingly misses it, and it's short as well. And nothing really has gone right yet for Warrington. And Lydon has led the break out, and a terrific run by Joe Lydon. He's had a very, very good game today.
Well, that's the unfortunate side. You can see it when your number's not up. It certainly doesn't fall in place for you, because he seemed to kick the floor before he hit the ball. It dropped short, and of course Lydon, ever alert, ran 30-40 metres down the field.
And now from two tackles, Wigan have got inside Warrington territory again. And it's offloaded by Gregory. And this is a break, and Bottica could seal in here. Trano Bottica. Oh, he's going to get there. A fire is. Martin Afaya's the man of the moment. Bottica set it up. Afaya finishes it off.
Warrington just before this had their chance to have 2 points on the board. It isn't their day. It's quick backing up again. Bottica comes through, but look now for Martin Afaya, because he appears when all seems lost for Bottica. There comes Martin Afaya on the burst. No chance for Drummond. Great try.
Afaya takes Wigan a step nearer to Wembley for the 5th year in a row. That surely is a ceiling score. And you've got to feel sympathy for Warrington. They've not done much wrong today, but when they do, there are people on the Wigan side to capitalise.
Well, that's right. We've said it. Unforced errors there have been, but it's Warrington that have made them.
And the man who set up the try with a searing run, Bottica, kicks the goal to go with it. For Wigan now, you can't bet against them, can you? They're on their way into the next round. 14 now.
The secret of scoring tries is to follow the man with the ball. Bottica, seemingly through on his own, is going to be overhauled by the defence. He pops it up, Afaya's there, it's his speed. Enough said.
Enough said indeed. What more can you say about this man? He just pops up in the right place at the right time, every time. It would just give Warrington one last bit of hope if they could get a score. I think the game is beyond them now, but they do deserve a try for all their efforts. And Wigan penalised once more, no question this time Warrington must run it. And Drummond will run straight into the cherry and white arms of Miles and Edwards.
Perhaps that's the difference in the two sides. Now they are making errors, perhaps Wigan, but they know now that really it's all gone their way.
Some thought that was a high tackle on Mercer, and he's certainly flattened. The referee said that there was no offence, mind you. Hard to see how there could be no offence when the man looked to have been laid out.
Here it is, ball thrown up here. It's a delayed pass to Mercer, who comes running in. There the arm goes up again. It certainly caught him. Now this is the second incident in one game. What will Brian Golder say about this one?
Well, he didn't give a penalty. It's just going to be a play of the ball. I think it was Sean Edwards, wasn't it? Well, Edwards can count himself a little lucky, I think, there. The referee was very, very close to it. Mercer is having to be helped off, shaking his head, and he's saying, I'm going to stay on now. And the Warrington physio is saying, no, come off, you don't know where you are. And I think that's a sensible decision. When it's a blow about the head like that, there's no point in taking risks, and especially with Warrington 14 points in arrears. Play the ball, and after all that, very long stoppage, Crompton was Sumner. Certainly taking the sting out of it, out of Warrington maybe. Crompton's kick, Warrington going for the touchdown, and that's now the referee says no score. Warrington looked to have got the touchdown that time.
Well, they certainly put pressure on here now. It was a lovely kick ahead, really went through there. Well, I would have said he touched down.
Yeah, maybe the referee was saying he knocked on before he got his hand on the ball. Crossfield it goes with Harman. His strength gets him to the halfway line. Wigan take great pride in nilling the opposition, so they won't want Warrington to score even at this stage. And we're 3 minutes into time added on, of which there can be little left. It's a rather tired long pass. Wigan go through, and nobody can deny them their right on this day. To nil the opposition is a feat in itself, and Martin Afire really got the clinching score after good work by Frono Botica. Wigan have scored the 2 tries that have pleased those supporters, and who would bet against them having another appearance at Wembley? Let's hear from Kelvin Skerritt, who got the first try.
Kelvin, you don't get very many tries, but it was a very important one today.
Yeah, just having a breather on blind side, and then it's made a bit of a break, and I just happened to be there at the time. Right time, right place.
The kind of game you enjoy playing, or was it too hard for that?
Sorry?
Is it the kind of game you enjoy playing in?
Oh, I honestly enjoy playing, especially if we win another round, and just look forward to St Helens.
What about this lap of honour now that we're saying?
Oh, I think it's for the 7-a-side, so I won't bother with that. I didn't go.
Thanks very much indeed. Let's enjoy the lap of honour there all the same, John.
I like that, he's not even pretending he was out there. Martin Afire was there, he got 4 tries in the final. The latest possession in the trophy room at Wigan. I wonder if the Challenge Cup will be in there again in May. David Watkins, what was the turning point today?
John, it was a great cup tie. Pressure into points is the name of the game. Warrington didn't, Wigan did. They recovered, made ground going forward. 4 tackles later, Warrington's Lion made the unforced error, which created an opening for Betts, and Skerritt scored.
And there we have it, Wigan 14, Warrington 0, 2 tries, Kelvin Skerritt and Martin Afire got them, along with 3 goals from Frano Botica.
We faced them about 7 weeks ago, and they were a very committed side, and you know, they're certainly the same side again today. They showed a lot of tenacity and a lot of defence, and you know, it was just a little bit of individual brilliance that got us over the try line.
Can you see anybody beating them?
Yes, I can. I mean, they're not unbeatable. I mean, I thought we could have had them beat, but like I said again, discipline let us down. We dropped a couple of balls. We didn't really run straight on out in the backs, and it cost us the game, I thought.
But you do have to take your chances when you get them against them, don't you?
Definitely with Wigan. I mean, they're such a good side, such a professional unit there. And I think these a side, they are not unbeatable.
It's now, I think, 22 matches since Wigan were beaten in the Challenge Cup time. What is it about it that brings out the best in Wigan?
I don't think we don't look at you know, the 22 we played before. We look at the one we're about to play, and I think that was the case this week. You know, we just knew that Warrington would be very tough, always very hard when it comes to Central Park. And now that's over, we look to the next one and just keep going like that.
Knowsley Road, rather nice for you to be going back there, isn't it?
Yeah, a few old friends, so to renew acquaintances.
These are the match statistics. 12 scrums in all, 5 won by Wigan, 7 by Warrington. Neither Martin Dermott nor Dwayne Mann were able to take one against the head. Wigan conceded 4 penalties in each half and Warrington 3 in each half, so the discipline in such a vital match was generally good, marred only by those head tackles. The error count reflected well in Wigan's favour, just 7 mistakes made by them. Warrington put down 10 passes.
Great Britain win comfortably in Perpignan. France 12, Great Britain 30, and substitute Graham Steadman scored 2 tries with his first 2 touches. There were also debut tries for Bentley, Griffiths and Devereux as Britain recovered from 6-0 down on a day that coach learned quite a lot about his players.
Some disappointed, some excelled. The result of the game wasn't important. There was a lot of hard graft done up the middle of the field. Les Holiday played very well. Michael Jackson, the second row, Lee Crooks took the ball up very well, and when he was substituted, Graham Steadman, of course, came on and scored 2 tries. He really impressed me.
I came on with about, 10, maybe 15 minutes to go, and first touch the ball, I got a 4-pointer.
So the drink's on you tonight?
Certainly are, yeah. I think the lads are calling me super sub at present.
Here at home, St Helens tonight had the chance to go top of the league if they could beat Bradford at Odsal.
There wasn't much between the teams except when it came to finishing. Tia Rapati showed why Saints are near the top and Bradford aren't, with a neat finish from George Mann's pass. Bradford had had just as much of the play and tackled doggedly most of the time, but they were caught out when Paul Forber proved Saints can do even without Kevin Ward in the number 8 jersey. With the wind gusting around the Odsal Bowl, even kicking at goal was a chore of a pleasure for Paul Bishop, who missed both conversion attempts. Bradford needed a touch of fortune to get back in it, and they had the benefit of a somewhat dubious try. Richard Francis had judged to have got the necessary finger on the ball just before half-time. 8-4 and 14-4 soon afterwards. Neil Summers' enterprising kick getting nil reward. Paul Bishop fielded it and sent Phil Vivas searing into a huge and rather mysterious gap before he offered Rapati the chance of his second try. This time goaled by Bishop. Bradford's response was almost immediate. David Hobbs delaying the pass perfectly for Paul Medley, who was as devastating as usual close to the opposition line. No goal, and Hobbs also missed a penalty to keep the margin to 6 points. But then Saints sealed it again, showing their greater power and variety of passing. Bernard Dwyer taking 3 men over with him. Bradford had beaten side by now, and he'd left a simple job for Bishop to make the final tally. Bradford Northern 8, St Helens 20.
At Thrum Hall, 4 tries for Dave Watson as Halifax inflict further misery on Swinton. Confirmation of the domestic results: Silk Cut Challenge Cup second round, Wigan 14, Warrington 0. The crowd, by the way, 22,000. And the Stones Bitter Championship, Bradford 8, St Helens 20. Halifax 58, Swinton 10. Salford 26, Featherstone 4. St Helens then back on top, exploiting Wigan's absence from league action. But Wigan have 2 games in hand, and remember, these 2 meet in the Cup next week. Halifax are into the top 8. Bradford's defeat leaves them rooted in the bottom 3, with Salford today pulling 4 points clear, although the Manchester team have played a game more. In Division 2, Eva Rapati scores 2 tries against Workington as Sheffield stay on course for promotion. A rare full programme in the second division, finished like this: London Crusaders 8, Oldham 12, Rochdale 14, Lee 27, Rydale York 22, Carlisle 1, Sheffield 48, Workington 8. Lee and Sheffield then apparently cruising towards Division 1, with third-placed Oldham moving 2 points clear of London Crusaders. Rydale York now trail Workington only on points difference. In Division 3, Alex Murphy's Huddersfield, the leaders, slumped to defeat at Barrow with Gary Coulter sent off. The full results: Barrow 12, Huddersfield 10, Batley 4, Bramley 6, Chorley 22, Nottingham 7, Chorley's lowest ever crowd, just 252. Hunslet 33, Doncaster 32, Richard Pell sent off for Doncaster. Trafford 8, Highfield 20, Whitehaven 18, Dewsbury 42. Huddersfield stay top, but only on points difference now from Bramley, and Dewsbury have climbed to within 3 points of the lead with a game in hand. Now, jigsaw time. And who is this? Well, we reckon this was pretty difficult with these meagre clues last week, and just for once, we were right. Lots of answers, none correct, so here are some more pieces. Now, who do you reckon? A current rugby league personality, as always, and there's a VIP day out for 4 at the Great Britain-France Test at Hull to be won. The address, Scrumdown Competition, Yorkshire Television, Kirkstall Road, Leeds, LS3 1JS. Once more, Scrumdown Competition, Yorkshire Television, Kirkstall Road, Leeds, LS3 1JS. And if there are still no correct entries, there'll be more pieces when Scrumdown returns in a fortnight's time with Featherstone against Hull Kingston Rovers. We leave you with Wigan, parading one trophy and taking a big step towards another one. Good night.